Hey coach, you are listening to episode 100 of the Confident Coaches podcast, the one where you kick out the jams these last 100 days of the year. Let's go.
Welcome to the Confident Coaches podcast, a place for creating the self-confidence you need to do your best work as a life coach. If you want to bring more boldness, more resilience, and more joy to your work, this is the place for you. I'm your host, Amy Latta. Let's dive in.
Hello, Confident Coach. How are you today? Fabulous, as always. So this is super crazy. I just want to take a moment to really point out the fabulousness, the awesomeness fact that this is the 100th episode of this podcast. What? 100. That's triple digits. Like, this is huge. My first podcast, which I felt like it was a very popular podcast. I didn't stop it because it wasn't people were listening. I stopped it because it wasn't the work I was doing anymore. I had a lot of people really upset when I took it away, and I loved it, but it only made it to like 77 or so episodes, something like that. Like, this is going for 100 straight episodes. That's 100 weeks of content. Every week, we haven't stopped. There's no seasons. Every week, bringing you all of the goodness that I have. And I've mentioned this, I think, before in like last week's episode or the week before, but the shift between, like, I know you can go back and you can even see how different I was 100 episodes ago versus now. And if you've listened to all 100 episodes, I guaranteed you are not the same person either. So this is your first episode. Welcome. There's nothing but fabulousness here. I'm so excited to have you. And I can tell you that if you just go back and you were to listen to 100 episodes in a row, you would become an entirely different person, just like the rest of us here. This is the invitation that I have for you if you're brand new. But I also have an invitation for everybody in general this week, because here's the super cool thing. Not only is this the 100th episode, but there's about 100 days in the rest of the year. It's not actually exactly 100 days. It is when I'm recording this, but by the time this episode comes out, it won't be. So this episode comes out October 5th. And it's just close enough that I'm going to go ahead and fudge a little bit of numbers, okay? So we're going to do the last 100 days of the year, knowing that the 100 days is actually going to take us just a little bit into January. We're just going to make this work, right? So what do you guys think? Now lean in. Let's have like a little fireside chat here. Let's just have like, we're having coffee, we're sitting on the back patio, we're celebrating 100 episodes of Confident Coaches, and I just want to entertain the idea. What do you think about like totally kicking out the jams these next 100 days? Like unstoppable, confident coach, kicking ass kind of days. Yeah? Yeah? What do you think? Okay, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to connect. What? Are those crickets? Are those crickets I hear? Wait. Come back to me. Did I just say we're going to kick ass by connecting? Yeah, I did. I 100% said that right now. Okay, so let me let you think that I might be just a little kooky for a minute. And I actually want to share with you something that recently popped up in my Facebook memories. This is not the first time I've done the last 100 days of the year before. I think it was about 3 years ago, Facebook memories showed me that I had run a Become Unstoppable training. And it was all about taking the last 100 days of the year, really kicking it up a notch and becoming unstoppable. And the steps were pretty simple. I did a 5-day training. And the steps were, first, day one, we're going to decide on our goal and why is that goal important to us. And then on day number 2, I coached on, what do you need to think in order to believe that you can achieve that goal? Day number 3 was, what's the plan? What are the actions you're going to take in order to achieve that goal? And then day number 4 was, okay, so what's your plan when things don't work out? What's your have your own back, right? Pre-plan. How are you going to think and feel when the circumstance line includes not quite creating the results that you thought that you would, so that you can keep going? And then the last step is to evaluate. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but that's essentially my 5 steps to creating self-confidence, right? It's like believing on purpose and feeling the feels and deciding what you're going to do and having your own back through the process and keep going. It's the same confidence steps I've been sharing over and over again. Like, by the way, Cliff Notes version to every single thing that I share on the podcast is it's your thinking, it's your feeling, it's your actions that create your results, right? Like it's the same stuff. It's all variations on the same stuff that we know what to do as coaches. And it's not wrong or bad at all. Like all of that's really good stuff. I think it's so important that we always want to remember that anything you want to accomplish is a result in your life. That is an R line for everybody. And results come from what you do. And what you do comes from how you feel. And how you feel comes from what you think. And whatever your results are, always verify what you were thinking in the first place. So what you think, what you feel, what you do, that creates new results. If you want to kick out the jams in 100 days and you really want to create something new, you got to focus on your thinking, your feeling, and then what you're going to do. But if there's something, I have to really tell you, I've just come off this Make More Offers training a couple of weeks ago. We've signed a bunch of new people into the October class of the Confident Coaches Mastermind. In fact, if you're listening to this right now, our live event is not until next week. And it's conceivable that there's still some room for you in there. It's kind of hard to say because I'm recording this in advance, but I just want to drop it out there. You know, what I really saw in the Make More Offers training was what was possible, you know, when we do this work over the long haul. But here's something that really came to me. It really highlighted that not everyone wants to operate that much, that fast, that often. Like not everyone wants to make an offer every single day, right now, every day for the next 100 days. And for 100 different reasons, right? Like I can do it for 5 days, but to do it for 100 days or to do it for 6 straight months, the brain starts to say, I'm not in for that. That feels like a sprint and I can't keep that up over the long haul. And you're not entirely wrong because I want to offer to you that when I say become unstoppable, some of your brains are like, but I kind of want to stop sometimes, Amy. Like I've redefined unstoppable in a way that works for me. Like I see unstoppable kind of like I see hustle. I don't see these words as overworking and exhaustion, but I see them as I keep going no matter what. Like I never stop in the pursuit of the result that I want. And that includes taking time to rest and relax because I know resting and relaxation is part of the actions I need to take in order to create that result, right? Like there's a lot of activity of moving forward in my rest and relaxation because downtime is a part of the action that's going to get me there. But for so many people, unstoppable sounds like just what it says. I never stop. I'm always going 24/7. Like Amy's telling me to become unstoppable and I'd really like to take a break and have my downtime. Thank you very much. And I hear this all of the time in consult calls or when I do live trainings and I'm coaching people and even inside the mastermind, it does still come up even though we address this. You will tell me all of the time, I don't want to work all the time. I don't want to be thinking about building a business all the time. I don't want to be thinking about my business when it's supposed to be family time. I want to be able to take time off and enjoy myself, not have to always be thinking, and really understanding that so many of us have the belief that that is what is required in order to create a $100,000 or a 6-figure business. And then we go and we use these words like hustle and unstoppable on our Helga brain. And it's like, see, it's like the message is just coming at us from multiple angles. And the truth is, you don't have to work all of the time. You not only don't have to work all of the time, you not only don't have to think about your business all the time, but you will actually go further, faster if you build non-work time into your life. Like if your action line, like keep going, being unstoppable and hustle, Your action line, taking massive action, might include taking full days off or full 4 days weekends off, taking days where you go and you give your brain unlimited space. Prioritizing you and the health of your brain is the single best thing you could do. Never forget that your brain is the number one asset of your business. So tending to your brain is the best thing that you can do to grow. It's the best way that you can become unstoppable. And it sounds very counterintuitive. You're like, but wait, unstoppable means never stopping. I'm like, yeah, never stopping in pursuit of that 6-figure business that you want and the belief that it's absolutely happening. It doesn't mean you never actually physically stop. Like, make more offers. I really want to show you that training showed over 300 coaches what they were made of, what was already inside of them, what they were capable of, what was possible. You all that were in that training created more offers, more engagements, more consults, and even more clients in just 5 days. And I know you can keep going. I also know there's a part of your brain that's experienced a huge vulnerability hangover, putting yourself out there at that level. Now there's all of this mind management and how to handle the emotions of having done that. And that just feels like such a sprint after, like, can you imagine, like, you lay on a couch for a whole year and I'm suddenly like, hey, let's go sprint for 5 straight days. And now you're kind of like, I'm going to rest for like a really long time. And I know all too well that building a business, it's not a sprint. It really is a marathon. It's that one step day after day, those next best steps after another. And some of those days, your step might not be a business oriented in the traditional sense. That step might be a day off to go picnic at the apple vineyards or go spend a day at the wineries or something totally unrelated. It might be sleeping all day for all I care, right? Like, if that's what yours is. And all of this leads me to the connection piece. Like, how does connection create unstoppable? I just want to offer you to this. Like, I want you to imagine that, like, of all the doorways we look at to our path to 100K, or trailheads, if that fits the metaphor better, right? There's all of these different entry points to the path to 100K. We can look at it from this lens. We can look at it from this lens. We can look at it from this side. And one of those entry points is connection. Like, how are you going to be unstoppable and make all of those offers and sign all of those clients? Ultimately, it is through connection. Like, I really want you to think about having the goal of making $100,000. And for some of you, put a $100,000 carrot in front of you and that lights a fire under your ass and you are striving and you are ready. That income, that dollar amount is such a strong motivator for you and you are willing to continue your pursuit towards it. Some of you truly don't need the money. And so maybe that actual dollar amount isn't as motivational for you. And then there are some of you where just even talking about money brings up so much guilt about wanting money, about being a woman who has her own money and whether she's allowed to make that much money. You want the coaching industry to have a good reputation, so you don't want it to be so money focused. You're worried about what other people are going to think inside the industry, outside of the industry. You want to make coaching more accessible to everybody, so you're not comfortable charging a lot of money. Now, that's everything I just shared there. That's like multiple podcast episodes worth of like we can't unpack all of that right here, right now. I do know for some of you, this path to 100K sounds really great, but as soon as we step onto it, all of these money worries and all of that comes down to it. And I'm no fool. I know that saying you want to make 100K can really fuck up a lot of your heads. It can really create all kinds of drama and just a real shit show in there as soon as we say, this is your path to 100K. And you're like, yeah. And then when it's time to actually like strap on the gear and start going, all of this money drama pops up. But what I want to offer to you, that the way you're going to do it, the motivator is connection, because it's connecting with other people that's going to show them what is possible for them through that connection with you. And that's going to drive their desire to work with you and to keep going with you. Because who doesn't want more connection? Right? Who doesn't want, particularly after this past year, after the year before that, who isn't striving, who isn't desiring more connecting? We feel more alienated than we ever have in a day and time where we are technologically more connected than ever. Who isn't desiring more human one-on-one connection? And that's actually what I want to challenge you to focus on for the next 100 days, to create this unstoppable you on your path to 100K, but through that doorway of connecting, and really allow yourself to see what is possible for you to create when you commit to 100 days of connection. So connect 100 days. I want you to jot this down. Hashtag connect 100 days. Connect 100 days. Will you commit to that with me? What does this look like? Like, this is still a little vague and abstract, Amy. I'm going to need you to land this plane. Can you bring this home for me now? That's what we're going to do right now. What do I mean? What the hell am I talking about? How are you going to connect 100 days? What does she mean? I'm going to do this through connection. I'm going to become unstoppable through connection. It all sounds very airy-fairy. It sounds very idealized. Can I land this plane and tell you what this actually looks like? Okay, this is what I want you to think about. What happens when you focus on connection for the next 100 days? Like, really get into the energy and the mindset where the goal is connection. Your goal is to connect with somebody every single day. Now, that somebody might be you. It might be non-business related. It might be business related. Let's start with the business related. Let's talk about your audience, your potential clients, your niche, the people that you help, and ask yourself, what are they struggling with? And how do you coach them through that struggle? What's your fix to that struggle? And what kind of results can they expect when they do that? Share that with them. And you can connect with them by asking, what does this person need to hear today? What do they need to know to keep going? And then sharing that with them. Or maybe you're connecting with them by sharing parts of your story. Like, here was my point A, here's my point B, here's how I got there, here's how I know it's possible for you, because this is my story. And connect with them that way. Share that with them. Connect 100 days means making the focus of your next 100 days to connecting with your people in the way that they will be drawn into you, sharing your story, showing them what's possible. And so much of the make more offers work, and so much of the daring offers work that we've been doing these past few weeks, right? But really making the energy that you are fueling all of this from be connection. So when you're thinking about the actions you're going to take of connection, what are the thoughts and feelings that you want to have in order to create that? What do you need to think to feel connected to your audience? What do you want to feel to believe that you're connected? Maybe it's connection. Maybe connection is on the feeling line, but maybe it might be curiosity or love or compassion. What's the emotion that you want to feel? And what does that actually feel like in your body? What is the energy of that? Where do you feel that connection or curiosity or compassion in your body? Does it radiate through your chest? Does it feel grounded in your core? Do your shoulders drop back? And really feel the energy, the actual sensations of that connected feeling inside of you. And what kind of thoughts and beliefs help you create those feelings and those sensations for you? So you see that we're not just, it's connection in your mind, it's connection in your body, and then it's connection through your actions and your words. And of course, when you are so connected, when you're focusing on what do I want to think, what do I need to feel, and really feel the sensations of that in your body, understand that when you are focusing on connecting with others, what you're really creating is a connection with yourself, right? The way you connect with others is through connection with yourself. Because if you are just thinking, what do they need to think today, and then trying to write it, if you don't pass through that valley of thought and feeling and really feel the sensation of it, you're missing the magic. That is where the magic of connection is. And when you are so connected to yourself, When you are so attuned with that feeling in your own body and that connection is so strong with you, the rest of it becomes so much easier. Sharing what they need to hear to connect with them becomes so much, like the words are so much easier to roll off your tongue. Like the words spill out of your mouth. It's so much easier because you have gone through that valley of connecting with yourself first. And you're not as worried about what they're going to think about every single word that you're saying because you've connected with you first. And you know that connection is strong. And when the connection is strong inside here, it just allows for a deeper connection outside. This is really the secret sauce. That's actually how I know for sure 100% that the overworking and the always thinking about business is not the answer to becoming unstoppable. Because what are some of the ways that you can connect with yourself? Yes, there's the dropping into your body and feeling the sensations of that feeling of connection. There's self-coaching. There's the thought work that you do after coaching with me or your coach or your peers. Maybe connection with yourself looks like inspiration walks where you let ideas come to you. Maybe it's creating free space for your brain to think and create. Maybe it's, Gigi thinking sessions where you invite your brain to solve for problems. Maybe it's purposeful downtime for just pleasure and fun and enjoyment. Maybe it's taking that drive out to the country, right? Maybe it's going to see live music or spending time with your friends. Maybe connection is a family game night. Maybe it's reading fiction books or watching the latest Netflix craze. Like really see that all of that can be connection with you. As long as you're allowing yourself to be fully present and in your body while you're doing that, you are experiencing life. And when you prioritize that and you're so much more comfortable and connected with yourself, it allows you to be so much more comfortable connecting with others. Because when you're connected with yourself, you're automatically going to be able to connect with others. And connecting with others is what's going to show them that you understand their struggles and you have the solution to their struggle. And they build that know, like, and trust with you, that you know what you're talking about. You've experienced this yourself and you can help them, because that's really what makes people want to sign up and work with you, is they believe she can help me. I can't not do this. Let's get there through connection. Commit to 100 days of connection. So that'd be October 5th through January 12th. That's technically the 100 days. And make connection a priority. Connecting with you through all of those ideas that I just shared. Connect with you first. Drop into your body, feel that emotion of connection. What other activities can you do where you're just spending time with you or spending time? And that would be the second thing, with other people, but in a non-business way, but in a human connection way where you're curious and open. Sometimes when we're connecting in a non-business environment, sometimes when we're just fully present and we're fully connected, our Gigi brain is still working in the background in our subconscious, thinking about our people, how we help them, and sometimes being in a connection with non-business people and really enjoying ourselves and really enjoying our lives sparks a creativity in us, where we suddenly have the answer to that question we've been wanting to share. We suddenly have that great idea that we know that people will understand. And then connecting with your audience, telling them how you can help them as often as possible. Now, maybe your as often as possible is every single day for 100 days. Maybe it's 3 times a week for how many ever weeks 100 days is. What is it? Probably about 12-ish weeks, right? We're probably talking about 12 weeks. And then share your Connect 100 Days ideas on social media. Hashtag Connect 100 Days and tag me at I am Amy Latta. And maybe your post will be sharing how you're connecting with yourself, purposeful downtime to connect with you and be with you. Maybe your posts will be about how you're connecting with others in some way, either in a business related directly, or maybe it's personal related, but either one of which brings more connection. Maybe it's sharing about what you love and what you do. Maybe your post will be about what you're thinking and feeling today that's really creating connection for you in your body, like a connection thought of the day. And maybe some of your posts are just some of your brilliant stinking posts that you're sharing with your audience, and you're sharing it into your stories, and you're tagging me and letting me know that you're out there making a connection. Now, here's a little incentive, because this all sounds like really like, oh yeah, that sounds like a nice little thing to do. Maybe that'll work. Let's throw out a little incentive here. I've put together a connection prize pack, and one of you is going to win that. So here's what I want you to do. Commit to 100 days, hashtag connect 100 days. And if you can capture that in some way, take a screenshot, drop it into a Dropbox or a Google Drive folder. And then you can just email me that folder. And on January 12th, I will have these emails with these Dropbox folders. And I can just tally up all those connection posts, drop your name in a hat, and pull out a name. And we're going to give away some connection prizes. Probably by the time January 12th comes around, it will probably be more than one. You win? I mean, of course you're in. Of course you're in. First of all, everybody loves a challenge, but also these challenges can be tough, right? Like 100 days, so many people will peter out by like 10 days, maybe 12 days at the absolute best. But a connection challenge through the holidays in 2021, where you just start every day focused on how can I connect today? Connect with myself, connect with my personal people, connect with my audience and my client people. How can I connect today? Where can I connect today? Make that your priority. Make that the fuel that fuels your unstoppableness these next 100 days. Because connection may be the fuel you've been missing. It might be the key you've been needing. Let's make it that key. Let's become unstoppable through connection. Connection with self, connection with others. And let's win some awesome shit along the way. All right, my friends. So get your Connect 100 days. Start that little Dropbox folder, Google Drive. Get it emailed to me at amy@amylatta.com. If I see your post on social media when you're tagging me at I am Amy Latta, I will be sharing that shit myself. I will be sharing that across my Instagram stories and across social media. Instagram stories is where I tend to find them the most. When you tag me on Facebook, sometimes I don't catch all of those notifications, but I will be on the lookout for them. But on Instagram, I do tend to see those a little bit easier because Instagram doesn't hide those notifications. I feel like Facebook business page hides my notifications and I have to go seek them out. So connect 100 days, tag me, let's get that shit shared, and focus on connection for your next 100 days. Make that your priority. Experience how connection will spur your unstoppableness. You in? All right, friends, let's do it. I cannot wait to see what you create. And until next week, let's go fuck some shit up. Coaches, I have created a brand new freebie offer just for you podcast listeners. I created a brand new training called Stop Overcomplicating Confidence because I see my coaches do it all the time, make this confidence thing way harder than it has to be. In this free training, you're going to learn exactly how you overcomplicate confidence, what's creating that, and how to stop it. Here's the best part. All of it, less than an hour. Less than an hour of your time. You will feel more confident in less than an hour, right? Yeah, friends, this is the best training I've ever done. So visit amylatta.com/podcast gift to get yours. Again, that's amylatta.com/podcast gift. Go now and feel more confident in just an hour. Thanks so much for listening to the Confident Coaches podcast. I invite you to learn more. Come visit me at amylatta.com. And until next week, let's go do epic stuff.